Wilson Morales, Black Film and TV. Hello, Google. How are you?
Hi, Wilson. I'm so well, thanks. How are you?
Good. You're in the MCU. Seems like everybody's joining the group. For you, obviously, did you do your homework prior to or afterwards when you're playing this character that people already know about?
Yeah, it was interesting for me, I think, because the way the show was pitched to me and the way Renslayer's place in this show was pitched to me is almost like it's sort of an origin story for her in the world. So in some ways, I did a bit of research, but also liberating because I knew we were sort of starting prior to a lot of what's in the comics. So there was a bit of freedom there to be creating some stuff, for ourselves. So yeah, that kind of that kind of let me off the hook of the deep dive and knowing that there's huge potential for where she can go after this.
So what more can you say outside is she's just a judge?
She's not just a judge. I mean, she's a very, very powerful and respected member of the TVA. She holds a lot of secrets. She has direct access to the timekeepers, who are sort of the all-seeing authority of time. And there's some really interesting dynamics that come between my character and Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, and that relationship, and also action and stunts and fight stuff, which was really fun to work on. So yeah, it's also got this really sort of quirky sense of humor to it as well, and the eccentricity of that side of things is really different as well. So yeah, there's lots to look forward to.
And you mentioned you didn't have to do so much of a deep dive because they're taking this character different from the comic books, but at the same time, fans, they expect you to know your stuff. Have you seen all of the other Marvel films so that way you're all caught up?
I had to catch up. I have to confess, I wasn't a big Marvel buff. I know there's a lot of people that are much more expert than me on the MCU. So I just, hold my hands up and say I'm still learning the ropes in terms of, everything. But no, I did go and watch the movies, and actually, there was plenty of time for that in 2020 as well, to catch up when we had to sort of pause production for the pandemic at one point. So I was able to kind of do a bit more of a deep dive then. But I'm no expert. I'm still a beginner.
Now, you've done TV shows, you've done films, but there's nothing like having a poster that's part of the MCU. What did you think when they made the poster for you, for your character?
Yeah, it's surreal. I mean, a friend just texted me to say that she saw my face on the side of a bus in Bristol, in the UK. It's surreal. I mean, it's you and it's not you. It's the character, and there is a house style to those things. So I sort of know it's me, but I'm also like, it's also Renslayer, and it's got that sort of Marvel sheen to it. So it's kind of cool to have, but I sort of feel a bit detached from it at the same way, because it's also so much part of popular culture, in that style and everything. So yeah, it's kind of fun.
Now, you're able to go between films and TV, in my view, with ease. What goes into saying yes to taking on these projects?
It's interesting, and thanks. I think it's really interesting now with the advent of big streaming platforms like Disney Plus, and certainly with Loki, even though it's in 6 parts and it's on Disney Plus, it's not in theaters. The approach was definitely cinematic, and working with one director, Kate Herron, who directed all 6 episodes, we approached it like a movie. And the way it was shot, the way it was boarded, the way the schedule ran, and just really in terms of the scale of the production, it was definitely intended to feel cinematic. So for me, there's really not much difference now. I think it's just in terms of the time commitment, obviously, and how long it takes to shoot 6 episodes as opposed to an independent film, for example, or a studio film. But I think, as has been happening for many years now, the boundaries are blurring between film and television. And, I think as long as the work's good, the acting's good, the writing's good, they're all just as exciting to work on for me.
The character Loki is a riddle itself, and it'll be a pleasure watching week after week to see where we go from there and figuring out where your character goes. Good talking to you. I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Wilson. Bye.